But okay, now we're gonna go over. Still playing Wan Shi Tong. I want to get more reps in with this card. We're playing it in this Esper Flash build, kind of to some extent built around Slitherwisp. Says whenever you cast another spell with Flash, you draw a card and each opponent loses 1 life. I think it's exciting that we not only got Wan Shi Tong, we also got this card, Aang, Swift Savior. It enters, you airbend a spell or creature. You can airbend your own spells and creatures to protect them too. And then an airbended thing can be played for 2 mana from exile. And you can kind of tax that 2 mana from exile by also playing Aven Interrupter, which will make all the cards played from exile cost 2 more, so you can really stack these effects. In addition to getting to play Bowmasters, Subtlety, Solitude as good flash creatures to trigger your Slitherwisp, to draw a bunch of cards and draw cards with Wan Shi Tong. Now this build is not playing. It's not playing any way to like let this draw cards if your opponent isn't fetching and stuff. So we're gonna see how that plays. It was really nice having the 8 wildfires in the fields in the other build. Can't really play fields with this mana base. You could maybe play Path to Exile, but like the fact that Prismatic Ending is a good 1 mana play is really important for this deck because you have a lack of those, and you also have a Solitude Ephemerate deck, and Bowmaster to some extent you're not exactly hurting for removal so much. Although, you know, as a long time Path to Exile hater, I'm not completely of the opinion that that's not going to be a good combination. If Interrupter and Slitherwisp were Felly and Riddler, maybe this deck would be okay. Well, I just hate to disappoint, but I do think it's important that you test new synergies with new cards instead of just slamming your head against the table, bleeding. I play Esper Flash, I play Esper Blink, I play the same builds for 6 months in a row. I do agree that this is not likely to take over the Esper Blink archetype, but I want to see how these cards play together. We might find a good combination of them too. Mulliganing all 3 drops on the draw. Right, keeping this one. Wisp pretty hard to cast. That might be an issue. Cutting Nightbonder. Flash spells with flash cost 1 less and can't be countered. The 1 less doesn't apply on some of the cards like Slitherwisp. It's kind of a, you know, instead of playing that card, you could also just play a good card. Or like I should say that differently. It's like you could play Cutting Nightbonder to reduce your stuff, you reduce your cost, but you're kind of spending 2 mana inefficiently. So instead, you could just spend 2 mana efficiently. You know what I mean? Okay, I do want to play Wan Shi Tong this turn. We're not playing Containment Priest with Airbending, but we are playing Aven Interrupter. Main deck Containment Priest is a Nombo in your Ephemerate deck too. Yeah, the hybrid mana is nice. It's just an inefficient card is the problem. Okay, so we're gonna play this. See if they have a discharge. So maybe they're gonna go for Flage and be Subtlety the Flage. Although maybe we let the Flage go. Since yeah, it's not like we have like a really good follow-up to this, and the Flage was still gonna get the Wan Shi Tong next turn. And I kinda need to be able to go just untap, ending this, get a Surveil land, or just play Watery Grave tap, not sure, and then start hard casting Subtleties of the Flage. I think that's got to be our move here. Alright, now that we drew a second fetch, we're going to fetch this turn for sure. Z's. Johnny, one of the dumbest cards around. It's a good sideboard card because it's very efficient at countering sideboard disputes and other counters. I don't know. I feel like we're pushing the sweet card. Like cutting Nightbonder is just a low power level clunky card, you know. I have a hard time imagining you want to sideboard it, but it's not completely something you shouldn't consider. Discard another Seasoned Pyromancer, draw 2. Always tough to be on the draw against Boros. Ephemerate in their deck. Interesting. Discard a Bombardment and a Parlor. I guess. I mean, the 3/3 Subtlety does stabilize or does block on this board kind of well, but then our life total's going to be kind of low just from the normal alpha strikes. Oh man, Bowmaster would have been so insane on this turn. Oh, that was my Ephemerate from Ragavan. Sorry. That makes more sense. Okay. Moving on. I'm going to bring in 2 Pest Controls or Wrath. 3rd Fatal Push. And then I was kind of wondering about what I'd be doing about Flage. Would I be bringing in Surgicals? Maybe I want to do that. But also the Exile removal, like being able to like Subtlety, Aven Interrupter, Aang it. Like if you Aven Interrupter or Airbend it, it goes back to the yard. I think that that's kind of an interesting dynamic. So maybe I just want to try to lean into that for the matchup. Although I will say the Aven Interrupter is a card I kind of hate against them. So there's that. Although airbending away a token seems kind of good against a Johnny. So maybe still Aang, Subtlety, Solitude is a good enough plan. Maybe I should play 1 Surgical and not 2. I could see that being fine. Let's do that. Let's go down 1 Aang and then click submit. All right, we'll keep this. Gonna hope they're gonna lead on a Guide or a Pride instead of a Ragavan with an Orcish Bowmaster. How'd the Izaponzali go? We went 2-0 to 2-3, but I thought the build was like cool and interesting, and Owl looked great. Redirect Lightning. I don't know if it's something to go to main deck or not. It seems like we needed to dedicate more for the Prowess matchup. Stuff like that, you know, I think is promising enough. Yeah, let's just go ahead and pass. Since if they dash a Ragavan, we will want a Bowmaster to get both things here, although it's not very likely. Slitherwisp Primal Prayers. It's interesting. Those are an interesting 2 cards. I'm certainly open to the thought. Wow, they're static prisoning a Bowmaster. They just kept a 1-lander. Does the Owl look like a staple? You said in your Avatar Modern video. I mean, I'll say this. We're very, very early, but so far I would say yes. But it's just like, listen, I've played 6 matches with the card. It has looked really good in those 6 matches, but it's like a small sample size. We're also playing like weird experimental decks. I would just generally encourage y'all to try to sit back and enjoy the ride. I guess let's just hold Subtlety here. The Pride isn't doing anything. I would genuinely encourage y'all to sit back, enjoy the ride, not really like try to understand for sure. Yeah, I also just in any Magic content you consume, any content in general, I encourage you to watch and listen and try to digest and make these decisions for yourself too, because it's important to form these decisions yourself through your own eyes and ears. All right. Well, my opponent kept an unkeepable hand, which is nice of them. Let's go to game 3. And I know I could be a better content creator. I could be like, oh my gosh, guys, Wan Shi Tong is broken! It's going crazy! I cannot believe what Wan Shi Tong is doing in Modern Guys right now. Look! I could be doing that, but I just encourage y'all to enjoy the ride. I never feel like I have a firm grip on a card on the first day. In fact, I think one of the only times I've ever done that. One of the only times I've ever been like, this card is actually broken. You guys, what is happening? One of the only times I've ever done that, I think I'm gonna go ahead and push now, was the ring. I can't really think of too many other times I've done that, but I do remember doing that for the ring. Another copy of Guide and a Pride. Womp womp. Interesting pickup. If they crack a fetch, we'll probably still play this. Bombardment? Oh, it's Bombardment. Well, I think I'm still going to go Bowmaster here. The problem is they're going to play another 1-mana creature, which is just so annoying. Maybe they have Discharge instead. Oh, sorry. I didn't even realize this was a Godless Shrine. I thought that this was a Watery Grave. Gonna be quite honest. Alright, taking 3. Do I need to kill the Voice of Victory more than I need to kill the Guide of Souls, I wonder? Probably do with the bombardment, right? Let's start off and just cast this, I think. I guess I could have tried to get them on the Flooded Strand, but I do want to see if I draw Prismatic Ending pretty badly. And like they have the ability to kill the Wan Shi Tong before the fetch resolves anyways. So yeah, I think just trying to find Prismatic Ending is nice. And I do find the Prismatic Ending. Great news. So let's get that thing off the field. They did keep a card on top. So it got rewarded for the main phase. Dead bird. So it's kind of interesting they would kill the bird here over the Bowmaster. Like, what card did they keep on top? They only have 2. There's a Pride, which is going to trigger the Guide. They're going to be able to jump the Guide again. I guess they're going to jump the Voice of Victory. If they have another spell, it's going to be tough. I think I'm going to trade an Orc Army for a Warrior token here. Does this keep them off Kitty's Blessing also? Might 4, 5, 6. Yeah, well, I think it might have been the same. Depends on what their last card is. No, I guess they're just always kept off of it. The last card might be a Seasoned Pyromancer that they do not want to play into the Bowmaster. Okay, well, that was freebie. And I'm going to attack instead of being scared of Ragavan. Seems unlikely that's their last card anyways. We do have Fatal Push. Not that I would not even block anyways. Okay, so they got 2 cards. One of them's a Galvanic Discharge. Do I want to go down to 4 and Ephemerate this? It seems like this was likely their top deck. So I think their last card is either a Seasoned Pyromancer, 8th Raven Charm, or a land. Oh, all my untapped white sources are in play, so I guess we are actually just getting an archive here. Oops. Could also be another discharge. Alright, well, graveyard that. A lot of good top decks. We'll see what their last card is. Or maybe we won't because it's a removal spell or land. Nice, that's definitely what we wanted to happen. So, need to avoid a Flage for a little bit. That was their top deck. So their last card is a removal spell or land. We have a lot of good top decks. I've not seen any here. Jeez Lewis. Surveil lands! You're supposed to let me draw spells! Can I get a Solitude? Can I get a Subtlety? Can I get a Wan Shi Tong? They keep a card on top. Showdown. They just immediately showed out of the Scalds. Classic Boros. I guess I should have seen what they showdown into. I'm going to keep the Subtlety though. Alright, they had a Blood Moon, a Flage, and a Guide of Souls. And a Marsh Flats. Kind of an unbeatable combination. Alright, let's keep it moving. Yeah. Weird, I might change it some before we play it. I just don't think I hate the 4th land, especially against just turn 1 Strand here. How about Nadu only being legal in Vintage, where it's starting to become relevant on the fringes? Well, sure was one of the worst design cards of all time. Top 5 for sure. Maybe, like, I don't know what my pick for worst design of all time is, but feels like it's up there. Nice to not have to think about that card anymore. Tough for not to be good at Vintage with Lara's Companion's a thing, yeah. Luris is up there also as worst designs, I think. Do we count for numbers being wrong? Yeah, I mean, that's a design mistake. Of course it counts. Hogak member number. Yeah, Hogak might be number one just with how like obviously egregious it was. Like it was one of the only cards where I'm like, there just must be something I do not understand about this card. I just remember having to thought like how like there's no way like this card is as broken as it looks. I just thought for sure there must be something I'm not understanding about this card, but no, that seemed to not be the case. So if they play Ophelia here, I think I'm gonna go Slitherwisp plus Subtlety. It's a little bit weird, but then Aang plus Ephemerate next turn seems kind of nice. Basically up the beanstalk. How about sets? I'll say Eldraine. Yeah, I mean, Throne of Eldraine definitely one of those sets, but also like Ikora came out like right after MH1. Like all those Theros, those sets came out all like around the same time, and they were all like, "What the hell is happening?" I don't know what they were on in this time, but I'm glad they've kind of moved away from all that. Lap with the 2 years. Thank you. Welcome back. Congrats to the wedding. Thank you so much. YouTube videos are a mess. They're in what way are they a mess? Is it because there was a lot of older content getting uploaded for during the break, or is there another issue? All right, so did some time reading Flicker Wisp, then got Subtlety. Wrong thumbnails. Okay, I'll take a look. The title of one uploaded today starts with "Oh boy." Is that still the title? Strange titles, weird editing. I don't know if Gloom's algorithm is messed up, but that is no good. Thank you for bringing it to my attention here. How likely am I going to go like... how likely am I to play Ephemerate this turn? Maybe if I block the Orc army? I think I'm just going to play the Backstreet here. Okay, well, I will delete that video and talk to Gloom later. There's a video where the thumbnail and fecundity combo of the video was something else. Okay, I'll have a talk. All right, taking 2 down to 13. They've got 4 cards in their hand. Maybe I wanted to hold up Ephemerate to like Solitude my Slitherwisp or protect my Slitherwisp from another Solitude. It seems like they have it, so I guess we're just gonna chill for a turn. Another Bowmaster is kind of interesting. How likely am I to play it here? Somewhat likely. I guess I just want to do it end of turn. Yeah, we have 4 Wan Shi Tong in the build. While I was on the honeymoon, there were many issues. Not sure if I noticed. Sped up vids, desync data, wrong nonsense. I didn't know about all this. Thanks for letting me know. That's an Aaron and Gyata. I mean, I think that card's not very good, but I might be missing something with it. Let's try. I could have bluffed the Solitude a little bit here. It's a March. It is a March. So I guess we could go here, and I get. Okay, so we could I guess Aang this. If we Aang this, it is only able to target tokens, which I kind of like. And then we also have a 2/3 flyer to block the White Errant and the Felia kind of well. Yeah, I think that this is probably just a great thing to target with the Aang. Ephemerate Orc kill Felia. Yeah, I thought we could do that also. But I think that this is going to be a little bit better. That was my first thought. Aang Bowmaster. I think Aanging the March is better because you you can't. This can only target tokens now. I can't do anything else. As someone who recently got married, did you get used to wearing the ring? I normally never wear jewelry, so I can't stop fidgeting. A little bit. I definitely fidgeting some, but I'd say I'm getting used to it. Yeah. I got a watch to match the ring, which has definitely like made me enthusiastic about wearing it. Okay, so Solitude's coming back. I should probably ephemerate the Aang. And then go like with the rebound trigger on the stack, Slitherwisp plus Bowmasters. Oh, they're okay. I guess that's better. Do I want to ephemerate Aang and airbend the Bowmaster? I think yes is the answer to that. So that I can maybe get another Slitherwisp trigger off. Although I guess one problem with ephemerating Aang is if they have another removal spell, we get a little bit got. Yeah, the extra flash triggers seem interesting though. Okay. So this ends up working out super well for me that they use the ephemerate like this. Unless they have another ephemerate or Solitude, then maybe we still get got some. I think it works out really well. They should have ephemerated the Aang, I think. I guess they just really want the Bowmaster off the field to like play the Riddler in their hand, but thankfully we have another Bowmaster, so we get to go cast. Oh no! Sorry. I obviously I meant to cast my Slitherwisp first. That's I guess fine. We still get to try to kill the Solitude here. Oops. -1 card. Yeah, we could maybe flipping Aang costs 8, or a little bit short of that. Not very far away. So could have had an extra card here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get aggro here because I think they've got Quantum Riddler as their last card. Alright, so they march the token. You can waterbend 8 if you don't attack. How? I have 4 mana. I have 2 creatures plus 1, so that's 3. That's 7, isn't it? I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's waterbend 8. Unless there's something about the waterbending mechanic I don't understand. It was 7 attack permanents. Yeah, that's what I thought. We might do it though next turn. I guess you were just saying if we didn't Bowmaster, but obviously we have to Bowmaster here. They have a Ephemerate on the rebound. So I guess I'm gonna kill the Phantom instead of dealing them 2 extra. You didn't have the Waterbend, draw 7 on the power point, think it's not playable. Yeah, I don't like that card very much. It might somewhere be something, but it mostly doesn't seem that exciting. Seems like a lot of work for not that crazy of an effect. Okay, so we're gonna hold up the Aven Interrupter, and I guess I could also Waterbend Aang, right, and hold up the Interrupter, but I would not be able to attack with the Aang, which is a bit of a bummer to not be able to attack with it. Seems like where we're at. Oh, I guess I've miscounted. Your turn. We could David something to transform. That's true. Yeah, we'd Waterbend on their turn. I forgot we could do that. Looks like they have Ophelia. I'm gonna go ahead and interrupt this. So you lose a life and I draw a card. And then yeah, it's kind of interesting you can do this at instant speed. It seems like the kind of thing you would usually not be able to do. So in the upkeep, what are they doing? Solitude. So that they can draw the... I mean, they would have already drawn the extra card with Riddler, so I don't know why they're upkeeping this. Oh, for the Bowmasters. Okay, let's go ahead and transform the Aang while we still have the ability to do so here. Yeah, but Bowmaster, of course. Favorite new Avatar card, not necessarily the best. The new Avatar Azula is my favorite. That card is so exciting. So we got 2 new cards in their hand. We've got a not very helpful Prismatic Ending, although they could play a Guide or Pride maybe. We're a main phase Felia, which is unfortunately, for them, lines up very bad against my Prismatic Ending. Subtlety's nice, of course. Let's go ahead and pending the Felia, hold up Subtlety. And what happens if I send with everything? If I send with everything, everything gets a counter. My opponent could go block here, take 8. Doesn't seem great for me because I like lose the Subtlety. I think the Subtlety is enough. Maybe if I drew a brick, I probably would make that attack. But let's just go ahead and attack, put a counter, attack for 6. All right, put it down to 6. Yeah, I've not played Azula yet. Probably not getting there today. There's just a lot to... It's going to take a while to get to that one, probably. One card left in their hand. They played that in upkeep. I keep thinking this is a blue land. Alright, so you go to 5, and then I draw a card. Slitherwisp versus Quantum Brittler. Hard to tell what the better card is. I think that was an early concession, though. Push a lot better than Ending in this matchup. I think I might just play... Oh, and they can see the match. Yeah, got Solitude, Ephemerate. A little Surveil into a black mana for Bowmaster. What'd I tell you? Did I get Once Upon a Galaxy promo codes? I didn't get any promo codes this time around, but did have a lot of fun. I even played some more yesterday off stream. I just like that game a lot. But you can still download it using the link too if you want. More likely, if you like the game, download it using the link, so we'll be more likely to get to play it again. I think I'm gonna main phase this because they could be Jeskai. They could have like Consign plus removal for the Bowmaster to get the Ragavan through. Looks like it's just Boros again. We did lose to Boros in round 1. We'll see if we are similarly unlucky, although this Bowmaster has been a great 2-for-1 so far. And then Aang into Interrupter seems like a nice curve here. They've got an upkeep stop. Please cast Orm's Chant. I'm daydreaming about them casting Orm's Chant here. It was just a fantasy. Oh, Crew 4 on Appa would have been pretty fun. I'm glad people are hyped for this Avatar set. I just think it turned out so good. I think it turned out really nice. They are Jeskai. Not Stock Boros. Yeah, I agree. It feels like the setting works well. We're really tempoing them here, huh? No, nothing but the IP. I'm pretty happy with it. I do recommend it. I do think it's good. I think if you didn't grow up watching it, you're not gonna. Of course, you're not gonna like it as much as someone who did. But I think it's worth a watch. The sequel series is a bit more mature too. Not that the first one isn't necessarily. I'm gonna consign this. Okay, so I probably want to Ephemerate Aang. And I don't know if I want to target the Consign or if I want to target the Flage. I probably just want to target the Flage, right? But then the Flage will cost 4 to replay. Their last cards are Solitude. It's pretty annoying. Solitude white card. Okay, so Aang is dead. They consign the Aven Interrupter. They kill the Aven Interrupter with the Flage. They have Arena Flage available. We're still ahead. That was the best possible was for them to have that, of course. So if they go Escape Flage, we can Aang it if we want. We could also go Slitherwisp plus Evoke Solitude, draw a card. Both seem okay. So they end up playing the Fable from the Airbending instead. What do you think of a Wasteland Strangler or 2 in the side? I would main deck it instead of sideboarding if I was going to play it. But we've got the Aven Interrupter for this kind of effect. Oh shoot, I don't have double black. Nice, let's go. We're tempoing today, boys. So if they just escape the Flage, we win unless their last two cards are Solitude, white card again. Wasteland's trigger means they can't recast Reply Airbend. Yeah, you think I don't know that? You think I don't know? But I was in the PowerPoint. But I just think like I wouldn't sideboard it if I was gonna play it. If this was what I wanted to, like kind of build the synergy of my deck around, I would main deck it. I just wouldn't be very likely to sideboard that plan. Well, I guess we subtlety this, since their last card is Ephemerate for sure. Dude, this was the most tempo game of Modern I've probably ever played. Disputes are coming in. Push is better than Pending, although Pending does get rid of Teferi. Probably play at least one Pending for turn 1 Ragavans. Since we're on the draw, the Bowmaster can't get them as well. I think I'm going to go down the 4th Solitude. We'll play 4th Solitude over the first Pending. I don't know, first Pending is kind of good against Teferi on the draw. We have 3 Disputes and the 4 Subtleties. We could also play like 1 Force of Negation. Feels like I want all of these. I think I could go down an Ephemerate. Not really scamming Solitude very much here. I'd kind of love to be able to Coco into some combination of these cards. Seems impossible to add green to this deck though. Hand's really bad against Ragavan. I guess we have Solitude. Oh, we're gonna keep. I know we're 5 minutes in, but how's Wan Shi Tong? It was very good in our first league, and I don't think we've drawn it, or we haven't drawn it very much with this Esper build. But it was good in Is It. It was like clearly the best card. It was very dominant. But in that build, we also had the Wildfires to make it look stronger than it is here, where we don't have any enablers. So that was definitely kind of my intention to start off with a build where we have Wan Shi Tong more maximized. We have 11 ways to trigger it in our deck, even if our opponent's not searching. And then a build like this where we have like other synergies, but we're not trying to make Wan Shi Tong any better than it already is naturally, and just kind of see how it plays. So you get blue-black off of this. They do keep a card on top. So far, Aang has looked better than I expected him to. Marginally. So they main phase crack the fetch to play around Wan Shi Tong. I'm going to keep it anyways. They probably have Felia. And I don't want to just play this to like get their future fetch lands because I want to be able to dispute a Riddler or Teferi. But if they crack the fetch, I'll play the Wan Shi Tong. It'd be kind of interesting if my opponent Solitudes in response, because if I Subtlety the Solitude, then I get got by Teferi kind of badly, but they did not, thankfully. We're going to get to draw a card. They could maybe just reset the Wan Shi Tong with the Felia. We draw Slitherwisp, which is fun. Could maybe go Slitherwisp plus Solitude this next turn. I kind of expect them to cast Teferi. Maybe Riddler. I guess if they play Riddler, we have an interesting choice of playing around Ephemerate versus not by Solituding the Felia instead of Subtletying the Riddler. I think I would usually just want to Subtlety the Riddler. What was the last good addition to Modern that you had to make work, meaning it wasn't already good by itself? For the most part, you don't actually make anything work. Things are either good or they aren't, is the reality. But sometimes you find synergies, of course, that enable something to be strong enough to see play. I'm not sure exactly what's coming to mind. But there are definitely several cards like that we've tried. Okay, they do put the Riddler on top. They don't give me the option to trade. How likely am I to not just dispute the Riddler, to like airbend the Riddler? I don't know. How I long to be on the play this game. I think I'll play the fetch land. There's Clyde with 20 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Y'all are doing this too, right? I think. Go ahead, crack that Flooded Strand. You deserve it. You've had a long day. Oh, I guess they can crack it. Yeah, go ahead. I'll allow it. Yeah, Wan Shi Tong feels a lot like Bowmaster, where you're just like constantly thinking about it, constantly playing around it, and if you do, it's like it's not too broken. So they surveil. I feel like Flage is coming. I feel like I'm seeing there's definitely a timeline. Okay, it wasn't this one. It was just passing over my consciousness for a second. Sorry about that. I guess we want to get a blue land so that we could go draw our third dispute and go Slitherwisp dispute, kind of minor, but I'm not really seeing a lot of other reasons to get a different land here. Ephemerate seems fine. They did keep a card on top. Looks like a Flage. It's a Fable. So I could airbend the Fable. I think I'm going to let this resolve and go Solitude. Or go Slitherwisp, evoke Solitude, pitch Aang, and then Ephemerate the Solitude. Black blue, black blue is so weird. I feel like it should be blue black instead of black blue. Like it's more of a blue card than a black card, right? Like each opponent loses one life. Feels like it's the only black part of the card. I feel like it should be blue. Whatever. Had to be balanced somehow. Should be a 2-mana card. It would be insane in Modern to 2 mana. It would be ridiculous. Obviously with smaller stats, but even with smaller stats, it'd be nuts. Don't like how long it took them to decide to do this. I could not go for this anymore. I could go let them get another Fable token, Aang plus Ephemerate, and then keep Solitude in my hand. I think I'm going to go for it. Right, not a bad top deck. Yeah, it's cool that this is a good creature that doesn't go well with Ephemerate. It's been a while since we've seen one of those. If Wan Shi Tong leaves the battlefield before he counters on it, do you still draw half of X cards? No. Alright, wait, actually... No, I think you do still draw the cards. Seems like, yeah, you seems like you would still draw the cards, yeah. But it's easier to kill, I guess. So they found another Fable. One card in their hand. Kind of confusingly worded to some extent. I'm going to go ahead and attack with the Solitude too. Should we consider some paths as a trigger? Yeah, you could consider them. Interesting that they chose not to block. I guess this means they need their 5th mana. So they maybe have a Solitude or a Quantum Riddler. They discard a Meticulous Archive, and then they flip this Fable. They attack really fast. This is someone who wants to cast a Riddler or a Solitude. I guess a Solitude. Surely after I Surveil. I mean, I gotta keep that. Okay, well, I'm glad they don't have anything. Or it seems like they don't have anything. I don't know how they're ever letting me just draw a card with Slitherwisp and play like this. Yeah, but yeah, as a longtime Path to Exile hater, I could see myself playing Path to Exile with Wan Shi Tong. It's not unreasonable. All right, got him down to 4. They flip the second Fable. Then they attack. So they can do the Fable thing. They can make 6 2/2s, but that doesn't exactly stop me from doing much. I guess I'm just not going to attack with my Solitude, but I guess I'm not able to. Ooh, now do I attack with Solitude? I guess now I do attack with Solitude so I can Fatal Push Reflection. They have to block. In Vanny, thank you for the raid. Hope you had a good stream. It's our second Avatar Brew. We're playing our second Wan Shi Tong build. We went 2-0 into 2-3 with the Izzet build with all the wildfires and redirect lightning. Did like the way that one was playing. And now we are 1-1 up a game in round 3 with Esper Blink. Playing Aang also. I hope I don't have to Aven Interrupter and Ephemerate. Okay. Is the Owl's crazy? Red and Sport. It's been good. It's been really good. This game it did draw a card, get a counter, but they flickered with Felia. It was you know, this might seem obvious. It was certainly much stronger than when we had 8 wildfires and we had Field of Ruins in our deck compared to this build. But I wanted to play one just all natural and then one like really in. But as we keep evaluating this card, figuring out how to play with it, but it definitely seems like it's going to be a card that finds a long-term home. Could block and copy. He could block and on-block copy Fable. Yeah, for sure. But we just need the revolt. We just need to get the revolt. That's why we had to attack. Maybe we're saying the same thing. Maybe we're saying the same thing. All right, so there are 2. They have a Consign. That makes sense for them to have here. They have to kill by Interrupter though, which is fun. Although they also get to go attack with the Goblin Shaman, and then Reflection the Solitude, which is less fun. So I guess they don't have to. I guess they could maybe leave even the Interrupter in play. Do I block? Maybe. Let's not. I think the Wan Shi Tong Flyer is kind of still valuable, even if they're going to gain some life here. I think they're going to gain like too much life. Very tight game. All right, so they kill my Slitherwisp before I untap. I draw another Solitude, which is definitely nice. I could Solitude their Solitude, so that they're capped on the amount of life they gain for my more aggressive draw. The problem is like these just trade with the Solitude on the ground too well. Let's just target here, commit to the slower game. Why not do that during instep? Why not do what during instep? Talk about what our opponent did? I think they played perfectly. I feel like I played perfectly these last 2 turns, so I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure who is supposed to take what action in what instep. All right, so they find a Prismatic Ending for the Wan Shi Tong. They maybe unlocking a fetch. Yes, unlocking a fetch. I think just trading here is okay. Okay, now I want to play the Wisp first just to get ahead on cards. I don't think their extra mana matters a lot at this point. Interesting to play Marsh Flats. I didn't know they played Marsh Flats. Oh, do it on their instep to keep the Solitude. Yeah, they should have done that. They've been misusing Fable pretty bad. Still have to know what to do. Wait, I mean, they. What else did they do? What have I missed? What else did they do besides just not activating it on instep, which wasn't even particularly relevant? Was there something else? Unblock? No, they blocked with a token. What was wrong about it? They could have just made more tokens and attacked me for some more. Would have got broken up by the push anyways, but I guess they could have done that. Alright, let's run out the Solitude. What the dog doing? So I think I'm gonna wait on the Bowmasters. Unless I guess I didn't really think they would block like this. I think I'm still just gonna let this trade happen. I'm not sure. It might have been better to just go Bowmaster, but I was thinking that maybe I wanted to save these for Quantum Riddler, and maybe I still kind of do. kind of tough, I think, there whether to just go all in or hold. Let me know what you would have done. I don't really know. They have a second Fellites works out nicely. That's true, yeah. That's true. They seem to not have it. I do think we should go for the Bowmaster's end of turn here. So we're only taking for one. Could have been good on the token attack to flash Bowmaster ping token and sack your token to trade. Wait, sack my token to trade? What does that mean? They have a Solitude? It's obviously a Nightmare situation. Okay, Nightmare. Reality. Although, you know, we're still battling. How many Solitudes is this for them? That's only 2. Yeah, kind of a tough call between killing the Orc and killing a Bowmaster here. You could have traded Bowmaster ping plus token for Fable token. Ah, I see. Yeah, maybe that was good. For some reason, I was excited about being able to draw a 3-drop and have that plus Bowmaster up, especially another Slitherwisp. That probably didn't matter very much. There's only one Slitherwisp left in the deck. Do I have another Surveil land? I do not. Let's hold the Delta. I think holding it to bluff interaction is better than fetching to thin. What do you about Bluebird? It's been really good so far. I think it's going to see long-term play in Modern. All right, they decided to go ahead and make this trade. That's kind of interesting in their Ephemerate deck to make the trade. What does that mean? Why would they attack? Okay. I think now that I have something, I don't mind playing the land. It's kind of obvious that I have at least one land to some extent. Am I on a new stream schedule? No, there's like this on set release days. I always stream later because the sets come out later. But that's it. I don't think I'm running this out until they put a spell on the stack. I could draw a Slitherwisp, guys. Not very interested in talking about bans during Avatar set release day. Catch me in 2 or 3 months. My opponent hits me with a sad face. I'm having a good time. You're not having a good time? I'm having a good time. Are they trying to feign weakness, perhaps? I will not fall for it. About unbans? Yeah, I don't. We talk about unbans all the time on this channel. We have a brand new set with lots of exciting cards. That's what I'm interested in talking about today. Could this deck run Momo, Subtlety, Wan Shi Tong, Interrupter? So this Momo doesn't work on your opponent's turns, so it's not super good with like the instants. Weirdly, Momo is not good with Aang. is we're trying to kill them at some point. Not with them having 4 cards in their hand. We got to play patiently, I think. So I think they're going to consign my Aven Interrupter ETB, and then I think I'm going to just and then they're going to target the Aven Interrupter with Solitude. Okay, well that was what I was thinking. That didn't happen. and then I was thinking that I was going to Aang to save my thing, but that didn't happen. I might still Aang the Interrupter again. They're going to play the Solitude again, so I can go Interrupter. They can't replay the Interrupter this turn. Then it costs them 4. Then I airbend it. Then it costs them 4 more, but they do get it back down. I think that's okay. I don't think the Interrupters are getting a lot better. If you're Interrupter, giving it something called Solitude, though, I know. I thought they were so likely to have a Consign. Oh, they do have the Consign. Oh, yeah. I guess this is maybe the flaw in my logic was I thought they were so likely to have Consign that I was going to get them, but I guess it just doesn't really make a lot of sense for them to play the Consign in this spot, does it? But also, now that they've used the Consign on this instead of my Solitude ETB, that's maybe not the worst. No, of course we're not playing Spellqueller in the Solitude Riddler world. Unfortunately, I would love for that card to be something you would play in Modern. They do have 8 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock, and they have to win this game and the next game. This gets so got by the Riddler line. Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, I just also didn't like them getting to use the Consign on the Solitude ETB. I think the big flaw of my logic was thinking that I realized they had Consign, it seems, but what I didn't realize is that they just of course wouldn't use the Consign on the Aven Interrupter ETB, because why would they? So is what it is and all that. Yeah, I think we're just attacking here. There's a good chance I want to airbend my Solitude, but I might want to just airbend the Riddler back to hand because it costs 7 to play with the Interrupter here. How long has this game been? It's been on the long side. Yeah, so let's go. Just let this resolve. They're gonna probably target my Solitude. I'm just gonna airbend it. Seems fun. This card has been playing, I think, better than I expected it to, which is awesome because I really like when cards like this are playable. Okay, so I've got a Solitude available for 2 mana that I can cast. I think I can cast it at any point, right? Yeah, so I can cast it at instant speed still. They play a Fable instead of the 7 mana Quantum Riddler, and then do they think they can play Quantum Riddler for 5? Did not realize it costs 7. I think that's what this is. That's very costly. Unless they have 2 more basics they can get. I don't know that they're going to want to crack the fetch lands to cast the Riddler here. Huge. I want to ask, what the heck does airbending do? I think I'm going to not just read the cards to them here. I think I'm going to just transform Aang and get in with both. Has trample, so they have to chump block with the Solitude. Unless they have something. Second Aang transform so far. Yeah. Lets you manipulate air to your whims with martial arts. Alright. They're down to 2. Yeah, getting the Solitude off the field with the Ephemerate on the rebound is pretty cool. Although, are we going to get Flage here? We haven't seen a Flage all game, have we, huh? They discard Surgical and Consign. 2 new cards in hand. One of them is Arena of Glory. Is the other one a Flage? That would suck. They're tapping red and white mana. But it's 4 of it. Now 5 of it. Now they're untapping. 8-mana activate abilities on the table in Modern. There's certainly something you could do in the late game. Like in games like this. It's nice when the rest of the card is pretty solid, and you also have this text. Also, being able to water bin like Orc Army tokens and stuff onto it makes it a lot more reasonable. Would have been lethal attack and flipped Aang after blocks. Attack and flipped Aang after blocks. Well, we wouldn't get the counters. The counters force the chump block. Okay, so they play their 7-mana Quantum Riddler, which is good for us. Yeah, Riddler costs 7 from the Aven Interrupter. They were just tapping all this like red and white mana. I didn't think they were gonna cast the Riddler. Flage Escape would cost 6. Yeah, but yeah, they would have had enough to play an Escape Flage. They lose, right? Well, they do have 3 cards in their hand and at least 3 painless mana available. I guess 4. So, I'm not a chicken counter, but it might not be time to counter chickens yet. I don't think any of them have hatched. I don't know if we have any chicken counters in the chat. So if I Solitude the Quantum Riddler, they gain... so I still have my cough. I'm like... still, my voice is all trembly. If we Solitude the Riddler, they gain enough life to not die to the Aang and La. So, but I can airbend this and win. If they have nothing. Airbend this. Don't we just Aang the Riddler? That's the play. My opponent, again, they've got cards in hand and mana available and like lots of ways to disrupt this. So let's see what we draw first. And then we drew nothing, so yes, that's what we do. Are there 3 different Aangs in the set? I think there's 6 Aangs in the set. I don't know. I think there's 6. Maybe 2 of them were in the other set. So there's Aang Airbending Master, Aang A Lot to Learn, Aang and Katara. I'm not counting Aang Shelter, Aang Air Nomad, Aang the Last Airbender, Aang at the Crossroads, Aang Swift Savior, Avatar Aang. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 Aangs. I don't know which ones are from which set. Okay, this is 3 1-landers in a row. I'm going to keep this on... Should I go to 4? I guess I go to 4. Yeah, I guess I'll just keep Solitude Ephemerate land. It's just like... Maybe this will be really good against my opponent, and maybe I'll lose, right? 4 of the main set. So 4 of these are commander cards. It's hard to keep track. 4 is too much. I agree. I really think that all of this would just be so much better if you were limited to one card per character. I think it would make the sets easier to talk about, and I think it would also make the sets. I think it would be better, and for a collector perspective, if it was one card per character, because you would just be getting that character in your card instead of having the effect cheapened a bit. Do you have any cool decks with Wang Shang and something like Scheming Symmetry? Well, I'll tell you this. There's nothing like Scheming Symmetry. That's the only card similar to that exists. I don't have anything... I guess I should have just not got the rebound second attack. We're probably going to lose this. But it's nice to lose game 1 to Affinity because we just sideboarded a bunch of cards. We have it with Cleansing Wildfires. We have it with... Field of Ruins. I think that's going to be the main stuff. So Scheming Symmetry. I think 2 is fine. Yeah, 2 is fine. I think 1 is better. Okay, Bowmasters is really good against them. So, maybe we can rip our land. And they're also not cracking the bauble yet. My guess is for limited play, if Aang is only a mythic, you almost never come to drafts. But why does that fucking matter? It's okay. Sorry about that. All right, we'll draw land. If we draw land and then we draw Ephemerate, we could win. Aang, Swift Savior. And Universe Beyond is tough because they're showing a character's development through the whole series rather than one block. I just don't think they need to do that. I don't think you get a good experience of the story that way. I don't know. Like, my favorite cards from a flavor perspective in this set are Badgerable Cub and Firebending Student, just because they are not like even necessarily like events that happen in the show, or they're not really part of episodes for the most part, but they just kind of, these are things that just do exist in the world, and they're kind of, and I think they give you a good glimpse into that. And I think that like these kind of cards are good world building. All right, so we're gonna bring in the Pest Controls, the Wrath of Skies, the Disputes. Disputes really good against Affinity. And the Bowmasters are kind of naturally already good. What's bad? So Wan Shi Tong actually seems pretty bad against them. I think I'm just actually going to cut all of them, which is sad. I'm going to cut both pushes and click submit. Just triggers off the Saga. Would you be disappointed chat wanted next deck on 2-2? I don't know. I guess I just keep doing whatever I want to do, and whoever wants to watch can watch. Kappa gets better when airbended. I mean, most cards get better when airbended, but a lot of times it'll slow it down for a turn. Aang can also like bounce construct tokens and stuff. I think it's because they want to appease every fan that wants a certain representation of their favorite character. That might be why. I will say that if you're trying to please everybody in your creative endeavor, if it's your game design, if it's, you know, writing you're doing, whatever it is, I think trying to please everyone is how you like ruin your art, you know. I think there's almost no such thing as successfully trying to please everybody and having creative integrity. But that might be why they do that, yeah. All right, we got 2 lands in our opening hand this time. Let's go. We're on the come up. Bowmaster also very good against them. If you're trying to please everyone, you're probably not making Universe Beyond sets in the first place. Now that is a good comment. Yeah, we've talked about binding over ending, but like binding is just so high in the curve. We're like really thirsty for 1-drops. Our mana is already kind of tough. The Triumph stuff would hurt too. Off-topic question: have I been approached? Do I have any interest in joining Magic R&D at long-term capacity? I've never been offered like a position there, but I have consulted on a couple sets, and then I turned down MH3, and I haven't been asked since I turned down MH3. I mean, I'm not naive in the sense that I know that streaming Magic is not something that would last forever for anybody. And if I wanted to move away from streaming, I do think trying to work for Wizards could be a possible career path if some of my other projects don't pan out. But, you know, one thing that I've been reflecting on is like in the past, it used to seem like, you know, this might be kind of a novel idea to some of y'all youngsters, but back in the day, it was almost like if you made it as a competitive Magic player, if you made it, then you would eventually be able to go work for Wizards. You go work for Wizards, and then the unsustainable lifestyle of a competitive Magic player would all of a sudden become kind of stable and sustainable and like a long-term possibility for you. You could have like a long-term career that's kind of normal. As a competitive Magic player, you could kind of graduate to working for Wizards. But with how like the corporate landscape works, it seems so unstable to go work for Wizards of the Coast. It seems like just at any executive's whim, they just want to drive up the stock price, and they just will lay off 10%, 15%, 20%. And a lot of times these are the people who have been there the shortest amount of time. You know? So it's like it kind of changed from it's changed from going to work at Wizards is how you get some stability in this field, to the best way to get stability is to just have a like a loyal stream, you know, or like the ability to keep making consistent oh no. Womp womp. Okay, 2/2 by Affinity. I do think I'm kind of down to start playing some Badgerable Cub. So I don't know. Just some reflections. Like I'm not jumping to go work for Wizards because it seems like every year they just